I want you to picture this. It's January 2025. We're at Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Oh, man.
It's the AFC Championship game. And the atmosphere is just heavy. I mean, literally heavy. The air's freezing. You've got the altitude doing that thing where it burns your lungs.
Right.
And the snow's coming down in sheets. And it's not that, picturesque, pretty snow. It's the gritty, slippery, game-wrecking kind.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that makes the ball feel like a greased brick. The playbook just goes right out the window, and it basically becomes a game of survival.
And the stakes are absolute. You've got the New England Patriots, the Denver Broncos. Winner goes to the Super Bowl, loser goes home.
Mm-hmm.
Now, usually when we talk about a game like this, we're focused on quarterbacks, maybe a Hail Mary, a final drive. But today we're doing something a little different.
We are.
We're zoning in on one specific play, just one. A play in the middle of all that chaos that involved a linebacker named Christian Elliss, a backup quarterback, and a referee's whistle that probably took 5 years off the life of every single Patriots fan watching.
I think it's a sequence that's going to be taught in officiating clinics for the next decade. Because on the surface, it just looks like a weird fumble. But if you actually dig into what happened, it's a perfect storm of physics, obscure rulebook clauses, and just the razor-thin margins of playoff football.
We are talking about a sack that wasn't a sack, a pass that technically wasn't a pass, and a touchdown that, well, we'll get to that.
Right.
Let's unpack the play that completely shook the AFC Championship.
Let's do it.
First, we have to set the stage. What's the context here? Because you can't just drop into a play like this without understanding the pressure cooker these teams are in. It's a defensive chess match.
The total slog, which you'd expect, right, with the weather. But the critical variable here is the quarterback situation for Denver.
Right.
You don't have the starter. You have Jarrett Stidham. And look, I don't care how much prep time you have, starting a backup in the AFC Championship game against a Belichick disciple defense. That's a nightmare scenario.
And looking at the Patriots' defense, they weren't exactly taking it easy on him, were they? I mean, you'd assume with the backup, you might sit back in coverage, try to confuse him.
You might think that, but the strategy here was actually much more aggressive. They were dialing up all these simulated pressures. They wanted to speed up Stidham's internal clock. See, the thing with backups is, if you let them get comfortable, they can make the throws. They're NFL quarterbacks for a reason. But if you move them off their spot, if you make them think they're about to get hit every single time, their processing just breaks down. They start seeing ghosts.
So that brings us to the snap. Stidham drops back. The Broncos are trying to set up, maybe a screen or a quick outlet, but the pocket just instantly dissolves.
And this is where we have to talk about Christian Elliss. In the grand scheme of the Patriots roster, he's a rotational guy. He makes his money on special teams specific packages. He is not the guy you expect to wreck the game.
But his movement here is key.
Watch his movement. This isn't just a blitz. It's a recognition play.
He comes through the line clean.
No, he fights through the wash. It's all second effort. He gets leverage on the blocker, sheds him, and then all of a sudden he has a free run in Stidham.
And Stidham has nowhere to go.
Nowhere. Usually a quarterback feels that pressure and climbs the pocket, but because of the coverage downfield, he can't. He just drifts backward.
And Elliss is closing in fast. This is the moment where, as a fan, you're screaming,
Let's get him.
Exactly, sack him. But from an analytical perspective, a sack there is just devastating for Denver.
Oh, it's catastrophic. I mean, you have to look at the EPA, the expected points added. If Stidham takes that sack, it's a loss of, 7 or 8 yards? That puts them in a third and very long, deep in their own territory in the snow. The win probability for Denver just tanks. But the EPA's swing of a turnover, that's monumental. A defensive touchdown, that's basically game over.
So Stidham knows he cannot take the sack. He's panicking.
Panic is exactly the right word. His processing speeds up way too much. He tries to bail on the play. He's being spun around by Elliss, who's wrapping him up. And Stidham just decides, I have to get rid of this ball.
He tries to flick it, right, just toward the sideline, get it out of bounds.
That's the intent.
Yeah.
But physics doesn't care about your intent.
Yeah.
He's off balance. He's falling away from the line of scrimmage. He cocked his arm, but because Elliss is dragging him down, the release point is completely messed up. The ball just sort of floats out of his hand.
It looks so weird live. It didn't spiral. It just tumbled.
It was a wounded duck. But the direction is the only thing that matters. Stidham is facing the sideline, but his whole momentum is carrying him backward. When the ball leaves his fingertips, it is at the 45-yard line.
Okay.
When it hits the turf, it's at the 44.
A backward pass.
By the letter of the law, yes. And this is where the average fan gets tripped up. We see the arm moving forward, so our brain says forward pass. But the rulebook is explicitly clear. It's about the vector of the ball. If it lands behind where it was released, it's a lateral. It's a live ball. It is a fumble.
But in real time, with the snow, bodies flying everywhere, I mean, it just looked like an incomplete pass.
To 99% of the people watching, yeah. Including the officials. It looked like he grounded the ball to avoid the sack.
Except for one guy, Elijah Ponder.
Ponder's reaction time here is just elite. While everyone else is kind of standing up, looking around for the flag for intentional grounding, Ponder sees the ball and his brain goes, that's live, and he scoops it.
And there's nobody in front of him. He has a convoy. He is sprinting toward the end zone. This is it. This is the defensive touchdown.
The 10-point EPA swing that wins you the AFC Championship.
And then you hear the whistle.
That sound. It just cuts through everything.
Ooh.
It's the ultimate stopper. The officials blow the play dead. They're signaling intentional grounding.
And Ponder is still running. He crosses the goal line, but all the players behind him have stopped. The Broncos' O-line has stopped. The play is dead.
And this brings us to one of the most controversial and honestly misunderstood parts of the rule book. The inadvertent whistle, or in this case, the erroneous whistle.
So why do they kill it so fast? I mean, we have replay now. Why not just let it play out and fix it later?
It's a player safety issue. That's the foundational logic. If a ref blows the whistle, players are conditioned to stop.
Okay, that makes sense.
If you have one guy who ignores it and, tees off on a quarterback who has relaxed, you get catastrophic injuries. So the rule is absolute. When the whistle blows, the play ends, period. Doesn't matter what should have happened.
So Ponder's touchdown, it's a phantom. It happened in our reality, but in the game's reality, it never existed.
Exactly. Erased from history.
Okay, so now we have total chaos. The Patriots sideline is erupting. Jared Mayo is screaming at the officials. The Broncos are just looking around confused. What happens next?
Well, now you enter the administrative phase. The officials huddle up. They know they've got a mess on their hands.
Right.
They call it intentional grounding, which implies a forward pass. But the Patriots are arguing it was a backward pass, which is a fumble. This has to go to the booth.
And by 2025, the review tech is pretty good. We're not just relying on some grainy TV angle.
No. We have the chip tracking in the ball. You have high frame rate cameras down the line. The review booth isn't guessing. They're looking at pure trigonometry. They can triangulate the release point and the landing point.
So the review process starts. And for the fans in the stadium, this is just agonizing. It's cold. You don't know what just happened.
The tension is just suffocating. I mean, if the ruling stands, the Broncos keep the ball with a penalty. If it's overturned, the Patriots get the ball. But the million-dollar question is the touchdown.
The ref comes back out, turns on the mic after review.
The ruling on the field has changed. He announces that the ball traveled backward. It is a fumble. And because there was a clear recovery by New England, Ponder had it in his hands. Possession is awarded to the Patriots.
But then comes the however.
The however. That hurts so much. Because the whistle blew before Ponder completed the return, the ball is dead at the spot of the recovery.
So New England gets the ball deep in Denver territory, but the 6 points are just gone.
Wiped off the board.
That feels incredibly unfair. I mean, I get the safety rule, but you're essentially punishing the Patriots because the official made a mistake. Ponder would have walked in.
You're right, he would have. And that's the flaw in the system. The rule prioritizes safety over equity in that specific moment. It's a trade-off. But think about the psychological blow. You just had this massive dopamine hit a touchdown, and it gets ripped away. You get the ball, sure, but you feel robbed.
That's a dangerous spot. You see teams just crumble after something like that. They get stuck on the what if.
It's the letdown effect. We see it all the time. A team gets a turnover but feels slighted. The offense comes out flat. They go 3 and out, and all the momentum swings right back to the other team. It's a classic trap.
But the Patriots didn't crumble. And this is where the story shifts from the refs to the players. Drake May comes out onto the field.
And this is a defining moment for a young quarterback. You are handed a gift, possession deep in their territory, but the vibes are just terrible. Everyone's angry. May has to reset the temperature. He has to execute.
And the Broncos defense, they're backed up against the wall. They're going to be aggressive. They want to hold them to 3. A field goal feels like a win for Denver here.
Absolutely. If Denver holds them to 3 points after that disaster, they have all the momentum. May need 7.
So talk me through that drive. It wasn't a long one, obviously.
No, short field. But May was surgical. He didn't try to force it, didn't try to get all the points back in one chunk play. He just took what the defense gave him, used his legs a little bit, which is so crucial in the snow.
And then the finish. May calls his own number.
He does. A short rushing touchdown. just punches it in.
And just like that, the game is tied.
It is massive. Think about that swing. A few minutes ago, Denver has the ball. Then it looks like the Patriots take the lead. Then it looks like maybe they just get the ball back. And then May scores? The entire game is reset. It's effectively 0-0, but the psychological edge has completely shifted to New England.
They survived the bad call.
And still got the maximum result out of it. They have new life.
I want to circle back to Christian Elliss for a second, because in the box score the next morning, what does this play even look like? A forced fumble.
Maybe not even that. Depends on how the scorer rules it. It might just be a QB hit or a pressure. If you just look at the stat sheet, Elliss had a decent game. If you watch the tape, Elliss won them the game on that play.
That's that impact beyond the stats thing we're always talking about.
It really is. Without his specific angle of pursuit, Stidham doesn't spin. If Stidham doesn't spin, he throws that ball away cleanly. It's incomplete.
Denver punts.
Right. Denver punts. New England gets the ball at their own 20. That is a completely different universe than New England getting the ball at the Denver 25.
It's the butterfly effect. One linebacker decides to sprint just a little bit harder.
And because of that hustle, he forces a biomechanical failure in the quarterback. Stidham can't get his hips around, the ball flutters backward, the ref panics, blows the whistle, the review booth intervenes.
And Drake May scores.
It all cascades from one decision by Christian Elliss to not give up on the play.
And you have to give credit to Elijah Ponder, too. The awareness to scoop that ball when literally everyone else on the field stopped.
Oh, absolutely. That is situational awareness. That's coaching. Play until you hear the whistle. And technically, he did. He scooped it before the whistle blew. He was the only one reacting to the physics of the situation rather than the assumption of the play.
It makes you wonder how many plays like this happen that don't get overturned, where the whistle blows, everyone assumes it was incomplete, and we just move on.
Oh, it happens. Maybe not with this much drama, but there are definitely fumbles that get blown dead as incompletions that aren't reviewed because, it's a 2-yard game in the first quarter. But in the AFC Championship, everything is under a microscope.
It's a good reminder for anyone watching football. The arm moving forward just isn't enough.
Nope. You gotta watch the ball. If that ball lands behind the thrower, chaos is coming.
So just to recap this whole madness for everyone.
Sure. Step 1, Christian Elliss, elite pressure, forces a panic decision from Jarrett Stidham.
Step 2, Stidham tries to throw it away, but his mechanics break down, the ball travels backward.
Step 3, Elijah Ponder sees the live ball, scoops it for what should be a touchdown, but the officials inadvertently kill the play with the whistle.
Step 4, replay booth uses the tech, sees the backward pass, and awards the ball to New England, but, and it's a big but, negates the touchdown.
And step 5, Drake May doesn't blink. He drives the short field, scores the tying touchdown, and the Patriots never really look back from there.
It's a perfect case study in how a football game is actually played. It's not just, athletes running into each other.
Not at all. It's a collision of physics, rules, psychology, and technology. And in this case, the Patriots just managed that collision better.
Fans will be debating that whistle for years. The Ponder run or something, it'll get a name.
It belongs right up there with the tuck rule. It's one of those, what is a catch? Or what is a football move?
Yeah.
Moments that defines an era.
Right.
But unlike some of those other controversies, the Patriots actually overcame this one. They didn't let the controversy define the outcome.
Which is the mark of a championship team, I guess. You can't control the whistle. You can only control what you do after it blows.
Exactly. You control the response. And the response from Elliss, from Ponder, and from May, that was championship caliber.
It really makes you look at every snap differently. You realize just how fragile an entire season is. One breath of air in a whistle.
One slip on a snowy patch of turf. It's terrifying and beautiful all at the same time.
Well, thank you for helping us break down this absolute mess of a play. It was fascinating.
My pleasure. It is why we watch the game.
For everyone listening, thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay curious.